Welcome to DoorDash Drivers Live with your host, Mr.BetonYou. Happy Sunday. I hope you guys are doing well. If you're out, I hope you're being safe. If you're home, I hope you are having a good day. Oh, man, a lot on my mind tonight. We will have a special guest. So I don't even know how to start the show tonight. I have a lot I want to kind of ask you guys. I want to make this stream because I feel like the last three or four streams have been very drama centric. I think some of you guys like that. The views on some of the streams are very well. We've unlocked some things. We've exposed some individuals. But at the end of the day, it's all for nothing. It might satisfy me. It might satisfy some of you guys. It might entertain you, right? It might give you a little peace of mind. It might give you something to listen to while you're working or whatever. But it doesn't solve much. I saw a video yesterday, and we will have a special guest on the show tonight to kind of talk about that. Gig, drive, and thrive. Gig, drive, and thrive. If you're watching the replay, you can actually look at the description box for a link to that channel, okay? And he's going to be on with us for a little bit in about 15 minutes or so. And we're going to talk about his video. I want to ask him his perspective, if he's willing to dig a little deeper into why he made that video, because he is a content creator. Seems like he's just kind of starting out, right? But he's also a subscriber of many channels. He's a worker. He's a gig driver, gig worker, gig drive and thrive. And he has been noticing something that I think a lot of people have been noticing within the GigTube space on YouTube here, right? And what's happened and how these new players have kind of made this new form of content that we're seeing pop up. And while it won't last, I think it's distracting us from real core issues that drivers face in 2023. And we're almost to 2024, a few months away. And I think many of those issues will resurface, they'll stay the same. And new issues will happen, right? And that's okay. Like this isn't going to be a negative, like, oh my God, what are the issues? And let's all bitch and complain. We're not doing that here. Okay. But there are actual real issues. And I even think after watching that video and seeing some other things and watching some things and seeing how the landscape has changed on YouTube with some channels, not all, and how it's also changed for drivers that don't watch YouTube. Because I don't think most drivers do, clearly. But what I'm saying is, obviously, this kind of work evolves and changes. It gets better, it gets worse. We have different perspectives, different markets. But the YouTube, GigTube space is definitely shifted. Some might say for the better, right? The pros on that would be, okay, well, there's a lot more people making content. People are making money on YouTube. There's different perspectives, and it's entertaining. I think that's fantastic. I'm a big advocate of YouTube, and I think starting a channel, doing something that you are knowledgeable about, that you're passionate about, or if you can provide some level of entertainment, I think it's a great passive income stream. Okay. Or just a good outlet and a good place to have fun. So while things have changed, right, and it's positive, those are some good things, right? The negative is we have content creators that, because anybody can have a Google account and make a YouTube page, they spew a lot of ridiculous things. And I think they do it for entertainment. They do it for attention, and they do it out of ignorance sometimes. And I think it's distracting some of us, not all of us. I think some of us become distracted, myself included. I'm going to put my hand up. I, at times, become distracted by the noise, the nonsense, and it distracts me from the real core issues. So that's going to be the topic tonight. What are some of the issues? Now, let me get in the chat. I want to read some, if I can still see them. I think some people put some issues in here that you guys face and concerns and things like that. But let me say hi to the chat real quick before I do that. And actually, if you've already put in what are some of the issues you face with DoorDash, Instacart, Uber Eats, what are some of the things that you think are problems right now? Okay, I'll give a couple examples. It could be pay, saturation, deactivation. It might be lack of transparency, gas. I had a friend send me a text message. She is out in Cali. Gas is over $6 right now. Now, obviously, Cali is one of the states where gas is always usually a lot higher than here, where I live in St. Louis, right? where I think we're paying $350, $360 right now. So they're about double, almost double. So the extra costs that we have to incur by driving in some markets, maybe that's an issue. So you guys drop it in the chat. I see Cowboy Courier. I see Lee, Taquim Hilton, Big Carl, Luis A. Santiago, Rideshare Rodeo, Mr. J, Joshua, Tommy Reese, King Cash Backup, Cray, Apple Bean, April Bean. I don't know why I said Apple. Nikki Dashes, Hollywood's Finest, God's Pirate, Ricky Moss, Will Markley, Hector. Jets went down today, but so did my. Listen, I'm not even going to address the sports talk today. Real Talk with Roy. Take a couple of $3, Hector. You'll be fine. Gig Wars officials. What's up, David? Dash and Trader. What up, my brother? Jeff, Busy, Dash Wagon, Ron, Charlene Edwards. Appreciate everybody for being in here. Gig in Great North. What's up, man? Always good to see you. Will Markley, Helen, hello. Tommy, JP, NOS Ocean, Noah Nomad, Alan, Dasher Life Hawaii. What's up, man? What's up? Kenneth, Marty, always good to see you. Side Hustle Fun. All right, Sarah G, Big Carl 314, Connie, Jerry, Lisa, Connie, Chevy, I think Giggity, Terry, Hector Mello, Holly, Savvy Shopper Delivers, Driven Dad, Tony, Lynn, Gigs and Buys. I think I got everybody just about. I think I said every name that I've seen so far. If I missed you, my apologies. Now, Dashing Across America, I see you as well. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. Eric, what's up? Jonathan, what's up? Sam Lee, what's up? What's up? All right. Daphne, good to see you. What are some of the issues? You guys can talk amongst yourself. Before I bring in our special guests, and I definitely want you guys to go check out that video. I put a community post and made a short yesterday. When I see certain things, I like them. You know, I like that video because I thought it was very timely. I think it's something that we needed to hear. So I asked if he'd come on tonight. He's like, yeah, of course. So I'm very, very honored he's going to spend some time with us tonight. So I would be lying if I said I don't feel guilty at times for being the cause of some of the drama. I would be lying if I didn't feel guilty about that sometimes, right? Now, we're all going to, we all have our, level of guiltiness on it and this and that. I think it's entertaining for a lot of people. I think that's why we watch. But I don't think most drivers really give a fuck about this kind of stuff. Glitchgate, it's not that relevant. It is absolutely not relevant. We've made it relevant because everybody talks about it and things like that. I really haven't in the last few weeks. I'm mentioning it now because this is kind of some of the things that have happened in the last few weeks, right? But it's not that relevant. In the grand scheme of things, it's really not. And anybody that thinks that it's a big issue and drivers were being disrespected because of this, because they didn't know or this or that, grow up. Please grow up. Please grow up. But when I mention I feel guilty, is because obviously I've had certain people on the show. I've entertained things. I've said, hey, if you got facts or receipts, bring them. Because, I like to sometimes be a part of it. I don't like misinformation, and I like to call it out when I see it. Right. And I will do that at times because sometimes it makes me feel a little bit better about myself, or I want you guys to have the actual information. Right. But I think we're in a place now where we're forgetting the real issues. Right. And there are channels that tackle those things. Right. Rodeo is one of them. All he talks about is issues and legislation and things like that, which is good, right? While some might not find it entertaining, it is actual information that we need to know, right? Somebody like Rice the Professor, Tortson, kind of a negative, some would say negative channel, drama channel. He's very engaging and theatrical, but he tackles the issues. He gives you information. The rideshare guy, Harry Campbell, they have the Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and Chris. They tackle issues. They talk about money, legislation, real issues. They do interviews, right? And these are all really good shows, right? And some of you guys watch those, and some of you maybe don't even know who I'm talking about, right? And maybe you come here because I try to tackle issues. I also try to be entertaining to you and just be relatable, right? And I think that's why a lot of people watch. I think most of the time we like to watch because we're watching the person, not the channel for the information. We're watching Pedro. We're watching Gig Drive and Thrive. We're watching Steve for Steve. We're watching Hannibal for Hannibal. We're watching, Sergio for Sergio. And I think that that's what most people watch. But there's still a large amount of people that want to come and actually get information. They want to learn about an app, learn about the features, see what's going on. A little noisy there outside. They want actual information. And the information that most of the YouTube space and content creators have been covering, not all, but some, has really been bullshit. It's really been really bad. It's been, while entertaining, it hasn't done anything but keep us more asleep. Let me stay with me here. Our eyes are more closed now to the real issues because we're focusing on bullshit, right? Aren't we? Because we like to make fun of somebody. We like to prove somebody wrong. I love to prove people wrong. I'm not going to lie. Like I said, I'm part of the problem, right? And it's, it can be entertaining, but we haven't accomplished anything in the last month. All we've done is given some clowns, misinformed and ignorant people, a little bit of clout and a little bit of attention and a little bit of subs. That will go away because they can't do that on their own. And all those people I'm talking about are attributed in the description. I'm not going to mention names, but you know who they are. And you know who you are because you're watching. All we've done is giving you a platform. I am guilty of it. I gave you my platform to spew nonsense. And then we engage and we make response videos. We do this, we react. And it really just keeps us from talking about the core issues, trying to stay positive and trying to help drivers make more money. Because isn't that why we're here? Relatability, entertainment, and we want to improve our apps, learn how to make more money, have a good laugh, right? I think a very small percentage of us want the drama and want the bullshit. I really believe that. I really do. Let me see what y'all have to say before I bring our special guest in. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not mentioning names. I do love watching a dumb son of a... Yeah. Let's see. I just wanted the one you did with UDM because I don't remember the other guy's name, but it was awesome. Oh, you must be talking to Steve, probably, right? He probably had maybe John Dash on there, maybe Hannibal, maybe Gary. Maybe it was probably John Dash. Shop and pay orders. Okay, we'll boost the AR. I gain 40% in no time. Ooh, Big Carl. Listen, I've been talking about shop and pay forever. I know. I don't know why they are, April. I'm not sure why they are. Because I think that's all they have to talk about. But I think it's time we move forward. And I think as one of the bigger content creators, one of the content creators that does push the needle in what other content creators talk about, I think it's part of my responsibility to kind of bring that to light tonight, challenge you guys, make you think different, and hopefully we can just start making other content. Because at the end of the day, we're just adding fuel to a fire that is irrelevant. And we're looking at the fire like it's cool, and it's really not. It's not. There's no substance there. It's just the same thing over and over. And drivers out here just want to make money. We want to have a good time. We want to be heard. We want to communicate. We want to grow a community. But we have other people that aren't even part of these communities, that don't even really work and hate the companies, making this content and trying to make something out of nothing. Because Glitchgate was nothing. It was actually irrelevant. We made it relevant because it was a topic, but it really hasn't meant anything. Nobody's really been deactivated from it. DoorDash hasn't patched it. It's not relevant to the gig world. It's only relevant to 40 or 50 people, and that's about it, right? So appreciate y'all for being here. I'm going to bring my guest up because I don't want to keep him waiting. Time is of the essence, and we're just going to have a conversation. So hope you guys are ready. Hit the thumbs up for your boy. So we have, I always want to get the name wrong. When I say a channel's name, I always want to get it. I always say it wrong, but I don't want to get it wrong. Gig, Drive, and Thrive. So Gig, Drive, N, the letter N, Thrive. Go check him out. Check out the video if you haven't seen it already on his channel. I'm going to bring him up right now. Mr. Thrive, how are you?
What's going on, Pedro? You can call me Kevin.
I saw that was your name, but I didn't know if you wanted me to share that publicly. That's why I didn't say that. So,
well, it's funny that you mentioned the whole how you pronounce it, and you want to pronounce it right because nobody pronounces it right. And now I feel like I'm too late it's too late in the game where I just go and change it but I couple before we kind of get into everything, I want to say two things. One, I want to thank you for bringing me on.
Oh, thanks for being here, man. Thank you. Yeah, my pleasure.
And it takes a lot. I respect the fact that you took ownership in, like, you know, because it's not just you, but everyone contributed to kind of the whole thought process of behind the video. And, you know, but we can get into that later. And the second thing I want to address is, and I want to do it briefly, and then we can kind of just go to things that actually matter. With the whole Glitchgate thing, the thing that's bothered me about it from the beginning is, you know, and everyone's talked about this from the beginning, is the victim mentality mindset and not taking ownership in their own income.
Yeah.
Like, the fact that people are upset because, well, first of all, if people aren't succeeding because they're only doing DoorDash and they missed out on a glitch, then even with the glitch, you're not going to make your money in just DoorDash. Like, DoorDash is a fraction of the income that you can make on all the gig apps. So, like, but, you know, like you said, there's trolls that want to pick up on things that they're not even doing. So that's all I got on Glitchgate. Because, like,
no, I appreciate that. And yeah, this conversation, just for you guys, for transparency, isn't going to be about that. But really, I saw your video yesterday. I hadn't planned on making a video yesterday. I was out with the family and things. And, you know, I check YouTube and I get mentions or notifications and I see things that I see, and I clicked on it and started watching it a little bit, and I had to stop because I was doing something, and I wanted to come back to it because it looked like it could be like you had something important to say. And I like those kind of videos because I like to hear what other content creators are saying, other gig workers are saying. And I was watching, and I was like, yeah, this guy hit the nail on the head. Like, you know, and I think sometimes as content creators, and you are one yourself, right? I think we tend to forget, and I've been super guilty of this at times, right? And sometimes you don't realize it till after you make the video or how the response was received by your audience. We sometimes make videos to prove 1, 2, or 10 or 20 people wrong or right. And it misses the mark with the other 100 that might watch it, or 1,000 that might watch it. And they're watching a video that you or I or somebody else might do. And like, what? Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah.
And that, you know, and that video might be intended to clap back or respond to one individual or 10 individuals, but the whole community as a whole doesn't gain anything from that because we're spending time on something that's insignificant. So when I saw your video, it just reminded me, like, hey, this guy's a subscriber and a viewer of my channel, and obviously other channels, because you referenced, you know, like the landscape changing. So if you want to just talk a little bit about that video and why you made it, because some people that are here might have seen it, others might not have yet, and I encourage them to watch it. But just tell me, like, what made you want to make that video, and what as a viewer have you really seen change in the last, let's just say, year or so?
Yeah. So I'll start with kind of like my philosophy on how I live, how I not just do gig economy, but how I kind of live my life is, you know, and I think I've heard you say this, you know, what you put out is what you're going to get back. You know, I'm a big believer in, you know, if you put bad things out, you're going to attract that over and over and over. And while I understand the personal attack on you, I understand as a man and as a father and a husband, I understand what you had to do.
Yeah.
And what I want to ask you, how are you guys doing with that? But also, because you can only attack someone for so long before it actually starts affecting you. Because, so, like, how are you and your wife?
No, I appreciate you saying that. We're good. She's not really, I mentioned certain things to Madison here and there, but she doesn't, she supports this channel 100%. And she's done the gig conferences with us, and she supports me and this brand and this channel and the community a lot. She's part of the community. She drives here and there, very, very, very part-time. Right. But like, she's not part of the drama. Like, I don't share everything with her because this is not pertinent, but we're good. I appreciate you asking that. But we're doing okay. You know, we definitely have been through a lot on YouTube, and that's part of
Mhm.
social media as we're learning, but it's part of the game, and you know, you just got to kind of take it and roll with it. So.
Well, and I like that you said that too, because I think as a man, that's our job to protect our wives and our family.
Yeah,
And the fact, and it's not so much of what we say, but it's what we withhold from them, so to protect their hearts.
Yeah, I'm not somebody that I appreciate you asking that, because I think this, you know, it leads to a good convo, right? But I'm not somebody that believes in coming home and spewing my negativity onto my family.
Yeah.
I don't believe that. I leave that in the car, or if it's something crazy, I might have a laugh and say, "Hey, this kind of happened." But I'm not somebody that brings my work home with me a lot, if that makes sense, right? And this YouTube is kind of like work. It's like what I do every day, right? So like I don't bring all that negativity to her, and she might ask me something and I'll say something, but it's not part of our lives where we're talking about it and it's consuming. I don't want it to consume her, because that's not. Listen, and some of y'all might agree or disagree with me saying this, but I don't think a man should, on his spouse, should bring his shit to her. That's just not how I roll, right? If anything, I try to absorb things from her and protect her, but I don't put all my negative onto her. I might talk to my father, a good friend, a confidant, and some, you know, and work things out, but I don't throw up on my girl. That's, you know what I'm saying? I don't come home and give her my baggage. So
negative goes up. So negative goes to people that you take counsel from.
Yeah.
It doesn't go down. It doesn't go, and that's, but yeah, to get back to your original question.
Your video. Let's talk about the video and where you were at when you made it and stuff.
So, you know, that video, like, and seeing the community post with, and I wasn't sure how like I said at the beginning, I wasn't sure how it's going to get reacted on, because I wasn't really sure how your mindset, how your headspace was at the time. And because you are kind of the leader in terms of views, and, you know, live streams are always the biggest. I know that that's where the big portion of that backlash would have come from, but I think I knew deep down that you would kind of get the gist of it. And I wasn't like, and I wasn't afraid for backlash, but it was like, I saw the path you and everyone else were going down.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember when I first started in the space, it was right before all this. Mm-hmm. And it was just all good stuff. Mm-hmm. And I remember like 4 years ago, you know, late 2019, when I started doing, you know, the gig economy, and all there was Bentley.
Mm-hmm.
That's all there was. So like, that's kind of how I grew up in the gig world, was watching Bentley. And then, you know, you start to see more and more, and, you know, you kind of forget the trolls that were back then about him, like being an employee and all this and all that. And it's like, and you're going to get those trolls, and no matter what you're going to do in anything, like this world is probably 20% trolls.
Oh, you think so? Yeah.
At least, you know, there's, you know,
let me ask you a question. You bring up the word troll, right? And I've used that word. Other people use it. Like, I think it's interesting, because I think that you just mentioned you didn't know how that video would be received and what headspace somebody might be in. Because I think it depends on where you're at mentally, what kind of day you're having, what's going on around you, right? How your week has been, and how you will react to something, and how you will take it, right? And will you listen, or will you just get triggered and be mad, right? But I think sometimes we use the word trolls. We all use it. It's an easy word to use, right? And I think it matters, because there are real trolls. But I think sometimes somebody might just have a difference of opinion. Yeah. Or they might question or challenge you on me or you or another content creator or another driver in a parking lot. We don't, you know, anybody can be a troll, right? But I think that just because somebody might question or have a different opinion, or maybe they're a top dasher and this person's a cherry picker, and they're saying, you know what, you're this or you're that. And it's like, we automatically assume they're a troll because they don't have a face on their avatar on YouTube, which most people don't actually, or they're just not telling you, they're not agreeing with you. So we dismiss them. And some content creators will just ban all the trolls and block them. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I have some people blocked on my channel, right, for other reasons. But I think that troll thing can be like, I think there are real trolls, but I then also think there are just people that might not agree with what you're saying, but it doesn't make them a troll. You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing. When I say troll, is like, I'm very emotionally stable in terms of like, my wife gets frustrated with me about it because I don't really let anything bother me. And So when I say trolls, I'm not necessarily, because this is America. We have free speech for now.
Yeah.
And I believe that everyone has a right to their opinion. But when it gets to the point of what's been happening, directed towards all the GigTubers, like, either shit or get off the pot. Like, this whole discovery, this discovery bullshit.
Yeah.
This discovery, like, listen, like, if you think the government cares about you anytime in your life, they're going to care about a DoorDash driver putting content on YouTube. Yeah. Like, they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about us.
It's laughable. Yeah, it's laughable. Like, we can't even fix real everyday core issues in this country sometimes, right? And to think that the FBI is going to come to my door and because of a glitch, it's just kind of crazy, right? To even think about that,
Bro, I love that video of you running from the cops. That was hilarious.
I was in a good mood. It's just got to be fun about it sometimes, right? But so let me ask you, man. Like, so obviously you mentioned Bentley's one of the first channels. Maybe I don't know who was the first, right? That's up for debate. But obviously he's one of the OGs. Been doing this a long time, and now we have, hundreds of channels, right? We have hundreds of channels, right? Mm-hmm. So do you think we'll get back to a place where we're making videos like Bentley and the rideshare guy and your driver Mike, where it's just very like just information, no drama? Or do you think at this point, because there's so many channels, we're just gonna obviously naturally have drama because there's more people now. So when you put more people in the room, people might not like each other. People want attention. Do you think we're going to continue on this kind of trajectory of like all these videos made about other people, or do you think we can get back to making content about the driver's perspective and just trying to earn money?
So drama and sex sells. So if you could put the latter on YouTube, it would be on there. Yeah. But so there's always going to be stuff like that out there. I think this is really, and I said this kind of like in the middle of all this. If you don't give light to it, I don't think it matters. Because one, it shows that even if it's at a subconscious level, even if we say like, I don't care about this, it's still taking space. It's still taking mental space away from you making money, away from your kids, away from your wife, away from if you're using mental space on things that are not valid and are not useful. And like I said in the video, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, why let it bother you for the next 5 minutes?
It's a good point. Yeah. And that's, I think it's hard because earlier you mentioned if somebody keeps coming at you, you want to respond. It's natural to defend, right? But then, when you do that, like to your point, we're losing focus on, we're losing focus and we're spending energy in a way where we're not being productive, not making money, not being helpful, right? And YouTube is an entertainment platform. It's the number. I mean, that's so there's nothing wrong with having a channel and entertaining and making people laugh and we all like sex sells, drama sells. Like if it doesn't bleed, it don't lead. Like all that stuff in the media is very, very true even to this day, and it's always kind of been like that, right? But as a gig community, right, we talk about us struggling. Some people think drivers are making less money now than ever. Some maybe are making a little bit more, but on the average, I think drivers are having a harder time making ends meet, and probably on a collective working more hours to make the same money they were making 2 years ago or even maybe last year. And fuel costs are up in many markets. Inflation is up. So the grocery bill might have been $100 last year. Now it's $130. So now we're not getting pay raises because we're independent contractors, right? And while you might add an app here and there, most of us are making the same or less money, but our costs are going up around us, right? So that's a big issue. But I think a lot of us like to hide and run away from that and not think about the real core issues and then just feed into the entertainment because we want to be entertained. We want a little bit of an escape. You know what I mean?
Well, and here's the thing. First of all, every single person in the gig tubing community and in the DoorDash and gig driving community want the exact same thing. They want to get paid more money. Like now how we get there is another story. But if you look at and the way I look at the people that are extremely negative in the community is the same way I look at race relations in the country. Who stokes them? The government, the media. They want us fighting each other because it keeps us distracted off of what really matters, making sure that our family is moving forward and making sure that, we live a prosperous life. And you said it, like, it's not DoorDash's fault. It's not any of the company's fault. The price of, if the price of everything was what it was a couple years ago, we would be complaining a lot less because, when you could fill your tank for $30 a few years ago, now it's $50 to fill your tank. It's not DoorDash's fault. And, I think a lot of people, so I could lose some people, a lot of socialist minded people think that companies should not make money. Like if DoorDash doesn't make money, and granted, obviously they're making money now, but inflation hits every single person, every single company. And it doesn't just hit us, it hits them. So, I mean, they cannot pay us $10 flat rate. It's just not.
It's not realistic, right?
Yeah. And I think everyone wants that.
Everybody wants that. Yeah.
They want everything for free.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's tough because while I feel the companies have a responsibility just to be either transparent and not play the games they play, but at the end of the day, it's a business. So they're going to make decisions to make money for themselves, their shareholders, whatever. Right. But yeah, I think a lot of us get caught up into the emotion of blaming the company or blaming another driver for them not being successful. And that's a mentality that I can't lean towards. I've always said, like, hey, we got to figure it out on our own. We can't call ourselves independent contractors, but then expect the company to give us employee benefits. It doesn't work like that, right?
Well, I mean, look at this, Pedro. Like in my whole gig career, I have been deactivated on Instacart in Florida, which was in my market, it was the number one moneymaker. I recently just got deactivated from Shipped, which in my area, I was making $1,000 a week just thinking, like, sleeping. But because I adapted, my income hasn't changed. I maneuvered things around. And I think if people, and here's the thing, you don't have to want to make $1,000 a week or $2,000 a week or 50, whatever it is. If you want a couple $100 extra bucks a week, it's easy.
Yeah. And most people that do this, either rideshare or food delivery, work very part-time and they just make a couple $100, if not even that. Right. Yeah. $50 a week, $100 a week. Like that's, if you're working 4 to 10 hours a week, right, you're making $100 to $200 a week. Like that's it's grocery money. It's a cell phone bill money. It's gas money. It's giving money to your kids for school. Like it's extra supplemental income, right?
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that gig apps, because I think we have some people in the chat that, I think there's a mixed bag of how to look at this, right? So I think people in the chat could help answer this as well, but I want to get your opinion. Do you think the companies have a responsibility when inflation is on the rise? Right. We saw Uber and DoorDash did it last year, or I guess it was a year ago when gas prices started going up kind of crazy. They passed the cost on to the customer, and then they gave us like, a little bit of money. Like Uber, like 50 cents for this, and DoorDash gave us like gas money. Like, and I didn't really like it because I kind of figured at that point, like, I can make money. So now this is, if anything, it's going to water down my market, but that's a whole other topic, right?
Yeah.
But do you think the companies have a responsibility when inflation is on the rise and the cost of living is up, and most states or cities don't have legislation like New York City and California do, right? Do you think it's their responsibility to figure out how to pay us more and to give us some kind of benefits when inflation and most drivers are struggling, or do you think it's not their responsibility?
So from an emotional standpoint, I think if we take logic out of it, then we're going to all say yes. But I think, you said like 4 times, when inflation, if inflation, if that did not exist, if it wasn't 10%, we wouldn't be even talking about this. It's not any company's fault that, I mean, because when inflation happens, what happens? Most companies have to lay off people because less customers are shopping. So what, the company can't just eat cost over and over and over. Now, maybe should they use this time to maybe be a little bit more transparent? Like, and I don't understand the whole, because I wasn't in it before when they just showed the full tip.
Neither was I. Yeah.
I did the glitch where you could back in the day where you could I've always had an iPhone up until recently, and there used to be a way where you could download the old app on an Android and then you could link it with your Wi-Fi and you could see the full payout.
I've heard about that, but I wasn't around during those days, and I've never had an Android, so I didn't. I'm always Apple, but I've heard about those days. Yeah.
So I don't know why they what is the benefit for them? I'm sure there is. I'm sure there's somebody in the chat who knows. But I think really the transparency of what we're going to get paid. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I'm sure you can say the same thing. I don't think it's that hard to decipher what is a good order or not anymore. Like, I think they've gotten better. I think they've gotten better over the last 6-7 months. Especially, and people can hate on whatever program they want, but I know what I'm getting, and if it's a blue screen, chances are I'm taking it.
Yeah.
Because it used to be like, $2 a mile, $10 minimum.
So you in a diamond zone?
No. 50-70, but I'm not in the platinum yet. But yeah.
Got it. But you're in a diamond zone. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And when I'm above, I get a lot of good orders during peak times.
Yeah.
And
me too.
When I'm not, I turn on other apps because I don't want to, and it's funny because I find it funny that people still say that acceptance rate doesn't matter, because it does.
It does. It clearly, if you're talking, okay, I think, well, let me let you finish your train of thought before I give an opinion on that.
But yeah, I mean, do they have a responsibility? No. Logically, they don't. Yeah. But I think what they could do is give us a little bit more transparency for the people that are less experienced. And and here's the thing. The people who feel like they got scammed because they didn't know about this secret glitch, when they found out about it, I found out about it. But I didn't care because I was still making money. I didn't put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah. Because you saw maybe DoorDash isn't working for me, maybe Uber's not working. Okay, what else? Like I've been saying, it's our responsibility to find out what are consumers willing to pay you to do in your market. We have to be willing to figure that out. And you might have a bad week, a bad month, but overall, there's enough opportunity out here for not all of us, but for most of us that are willing to put forth a little bit of extra effort. Right?
You know what I think the real issue? Sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I think the real issue is for those who worked pre-COVID or just started during COVID. They got used to things being extremely easy. Like during COVID, if you weren't making $250 by noon, like you were doing something wrong. Maybe not noon. Let's say 2 or 3.
And some markets are going to be different than others. But in a busy market where maybe you're making 200 a day now, you were making 200 by in 5 hours or something, 6 hours before. Right now, it might take you 10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Right.
So we had an influx of drivers because obviously all these companies needed those drivers, and when it started to slow down a little bit, I would say the majority of people nowadays, and it's not their fault, it's really conditioning from society and how we were brought up, and we really want to get something for nothing. Just I think most people. And when things got harder, people didn't want to work harder. And really it comes down to personal responsibility and saying, okay, well, I'm not getting, people aren't as grateful as they were because there's nothing going on right now that is forcing people to order.
Yep.
Now it's back to a luxury service. So people aren't feeling obligated to tip $20 on a $20 order.
Right.
So it's people need to adjust to the current times that we're in. And that's why no strategy that you, myself, anyone talks about is going to work for everyone.
Yeah, good point.
You have to And I'll be honest with you, my mom started doing gig work a few years ago, and I was like, listen, what you're going to find out when you first start out, you're going to suck at it. Like, it's just going to be, you're not going to be making...
You're not going to have fun. You're going to have some good orders and it'll make you excited, but then you're going to look at your phone like, oh my God, there's a lot of $2 or $3 orders since today. Yeah.
you're going to go times where you're making $200 easy, $250 easy. And then like when I was in Florida, you have to pay attention to snowbird season. Like, obviously your market changes and you have to know, what's going on in your specific market. If you don't know that, in October people come in because, they're snowbirds and you're going to get a higher order. And then in January you wonder, oh, why, what happened? Where's everyone?
Yeah.
Like, you have to know this stuff. It's not gig work isn't just plug and play. You have to use a little bit of sense.
Yeah, and I think the seasons change, and I talked about that, about a month ago. Like, seasons are different, right? And you have to be willing to understand Instacart is going to be a busier app during the fall and winter than maybe in summer for some markets, right? Because now it's colder, people don't want to go out, they want to get their groceries, they got to take their kids here and there, they're on a time crunch, they want the convenience, so I'm going to order my groceries, so there's, and DoorDash might be busier in summer in some markets, but slower in summer and other markets. So it's up to us to kind of figure those things out. I will say, I think, we talk about social responsibility and not being a victim, and I think we're very aligned on that.
Yeah.
But I've been, my stance has changed a little bit. I don't know how to feel all the way yet, because I'm not for the strikes. I don't want legislation in gig work. I've taken a pretty hard stance on that. I want less government. That's just me. Yep. It doesn't mean that if you want it, that's a bad thing, because you have different reasons maybe, right? But like for me, I don't personally have the need, but I understand why others feel like they want that, right? Because I think that there's been a lot of drivers in California or Seattle or New York City that have seen some really great benefits from having legislation in their markets, right? So I understand that aspect of it. This is my question to you in saying that. We're seeing legislation in some of the places like I talked about, and there's driver earnings for some drivers are up. And that's what the reports say, right? So are you somebody that thinks we should have that? How would you feel if you had legislation, if you had some kind of guaranteed earnings? And, do you think that would be a good thing for you and your market, or would you be against that?
I'll be honest with you. Because it hasn't applied to me. I haven't spent a whole lot of time thinking about it.
That's fair.
Because it's not happening. I was in Florida, now I'm in Ohio. In Florida, it wasn't going to happen. And I focused on what I could to make what my situation works is. Now, will I do a video about it in the future? Who knows? I don't know. I don't need it. I don't want it.
Yeah.
Because I've always found a way to make it work.
If you're one of the, I think a lot of drivers, I don't know what the percentage is. If somebody's in the chat that's knowledgeable and has done research on this, or you put information in if you feel like it's concrete, right? But I think a decent percentage of drivers just aren't really cutting it for whatever reason. Maybe that's their own personal fault. Maybe it's their market. Maybe it's their situation. Who knows, right? I don't know. But if your earnings by having legislation could go up by $100 a week or $200 a week, that's a good thing, right?
Yeah, we'd have to look at. I mean,
there might be some long-term negative to that, though, right?
Surface level, yes, but I mean, we'd have to kind of look at everything, and it's like when they pass this big bill and it's got a couple good things in it and the rest is underneath is trash. I would have to see the whole thing, but I'm also a big believer in, if somebody in your market is succeeding, you can succeed as well. It's just they're doing something different that you're not. But I mean, if it was $100 a week isn't in my situation.
Yeah.
It wouldn't really change a whole lot. I mean, my wife doesn't work. She homeschools our three kids, and what we have, I just found a way to make it work for us. Now, not everyone can do that, and I understand that.
Right.
Every market
Right.
is different. Not
Right.
everyone's going to have the same work ethic as you or I, and that's okay. You know, we need those people to pick up the orders that we won't.
We do. It's kind of like it's a good balancing act. We kind of need those drivers that are new, and it's like this very fluid thing that we're doing. You know what I mean? Because we've all at some point maybe been that driver. Then you learn a little bit. But I think, you know, we need to have different drivers out here. You know.
Yeah.
I see a lot of really great chat comments in the chat. I am going to be opening up the StreamYard here when we're done talking. So if anybody else wants to come up, that'll be happening shortly. But I really, you know, I just wanted to bring you on. I thought that video you made was really insightful and really good. Made me just think and made me pause for a second. Like, you know what? This guy's got some really good points here. Like, you know, and I think it's really easy to discredit somebody that's ignorant, but that doesn't really serve anybody any good, right? Because I think most of the viewers, most of the audience, we just want some relatable content. We want community. We want to be able to be entertained, but then we want knowledge. A lot of people come to these content, these videos that we do, and they just want to be informed or whatever, right? And I think a lot of the times when we deal in too much of the drama, it's on deaf ears. We're just making the same video for the same 40 to 50 people, right?
Yeah.
And that's not really serving anybody good. It's not serving the community good at all. And I think we got to start touching on, while it might not be fun all the time, and it might not get all the clicks and views, but we got to start touching and having some more real conversations and actually figuring out, you know, getting other drivers' perspectives from different markets and having some questions answered and just opening up more of a dialogue that can actually be a little more beneficial long term. Because I think a lot of these things, if we entertain too many of the ignorant people, it's just a very short window of time that we can do that, you know. And I just thought your video was really cool, man. But if you like, I'd love for you to plug your channel. Give me the elevator pitch, man. If nobody has seen your channel, what are they going to get over there? What value are you providing? Paint us a little bit of a picture. And if you have anything coming up on the channel we could be looking forward to, or anything that you want us to know, now is the time to share it.
I appreciate it, man. And just to finish off, cap off what you were just saying, and then I'll go into that. But one of the things, and I as a content creator, we see negative comments, and those are the ones we try to avoid as much as possible to kind of keep our mind as fresh as possible. So I saw some comments, you know, through a couple videos. They're like, you know, Pedro, why are you focused on that? Like, don't let it bother you. And, you know, they obviously didn't have they were just comments. They didn't have their own channel. So that's kind of the reason why, because like I said, I wanted to, and I was hoping, you know, maybe it'll reach you, maybe it won't. And like I said, I'm glad it had the effect that it did, because that was my intention.
I'm glad I saw it. It's good. I think other people saw it, and hopefully it allows us to make us think and pause just for a second, you know?
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm glad, you know, I'm just hoping that now we can all like get focused on, you know, how can we continue to evolve our strategies to make more money for everyone, because it is out there. The money's out there. Like,
you believe that you believe that it's out there.
I believe it's out there. I mean, because I'm finding it. If I can find it, then somebody else can find it. Now, granted, for every one driver who watches YouTube channels, there might be 5 that don't. So, you know, 20% of your market, and this is obviously not exact math, but 20% of your market has knowledge that others don't. So the money's still out there. You just got to find it. But yeah. So my channel, honestly, you know, the message behind my name, Gig, Drive, and Thrive, is I think there is a way that you can not just survive. There is a way that you can thrive in the gig economy. And that was kind of the whole meaning behind my name, as convoluted as the pronunciation can be sometimes. Yeah. Because I'll get on Gig Wars Official, and everyone always fumbles it, and I fumble it sometimes too. So it's just like, like I said, if I could change it now, I would, but it's just like,
I think it's fine. I think it's fine. I think you can change. Somebody in the chat remind me. I think you can change your YouTube name up to 3 times. I've seen other people do it. I think you could do it. I think you're at the point now where if you feel like you should, maybe you do it. You're just going to start growing it now a little bit more, hopefully, right? So, I mean, I think I like it. I mean, but you know, I understand why you might have a hesitancy not to. You know.
Yeah, but I mean, honestly, I try to put, I'm doing daily. I just started recently doing more daily content. I didn't do anything today because I had a busy day today, but focus on ride-alongs. Kind of, your channel was kind of like, not to blow smoke up your ass, but like your mindset when I first kind of started thinking about getting into it was kind of the reason, because that was your mindset is kind of how my mindset works in my everyday life. So I figured there's always room for more people that speak in those type of terms. You know, I don't typically like to address too much drama. I was thinking about that, JP. I was thinking about that, but
JP is a good guy. Yeah, yeah. I think this is the JP we know, but he says you can change the name to GDT. Yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad.
Just the GD, I'm not really a huge fan of, but
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I try to keep positive content. Yeah, I mean, stop by the channel. Like I said, I'm trying to put daily content out, and
awesome.
Yeah,
love it, man. I appreciate you for sharing some time with us on a Sunday, man. Really, really, really do. I wasn't sure if I'd be able to, if you see the comment, if you'd have the time or not, but I think it made for a great conversation. It definitely gave me pause to think, and it doesn't mean, listen, it doesn't mean that I might not, I'm a flawed individual. I am a man.
Sir,
I'm flawed. I'm not perfect. I don't want to be. But definitely I feel like we got to get back to a little more old school content and making videos for the majority versus the handful. Right. And I think, I just sometimes have to be reminded of that. So appreciate the video you put out there, man. And you got my, email, obviously. So is there anything else I can do for you in the future, man? Just feel free to reach out.
Definitely, man. Appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man. Have a good rest of the night.
You too.
All right. Gig, Thrive, and Thrive. Appreciate him for coming on the show. Definitely go check out his channel, guys. If somebody can put a link, if you're a moderator, please feel free to put a link to his channel in the chat. I would do it, but y'all know me. My technology game is pretty weak. But if you're watching the replay, his channel link is in the actual description box. You'll see the little thing. Just click on that. It takes you right to his channel. Go check out a couple of videos. If you like what you see over there, give him a subscription. So appreciate everybody for being in the chat. I'm sure I missed a lot of really good questions and things like that. I do want to share the link. If you guys are interested, give me a thumbs up in the chat if you guys want to come on the show and talk about this topic. Or maybe if you're a driver out there that, what are the issues you're facing, right? We can talk about that tonight. What do you think the main issues are? And I think there's going to be the core 3 or 4 or 5 that we all say. But I think depending on your market or how long you've been doing this or what your goals are and how often you do it, your issues, maybe there's something new. Maybe there's something that you're facing that has some relevancy that a lot of us haven't really felt yet. Or maybe there's issues that you think are coming. Maybe do you see something down the line that could be an issue for us? I think we can open up those conversation lines. Of course, Bud Soda is the first one with the thumbs up. I don't think Bud Soda sleeps. Let me read the chat a little bit. Let me see what we got in here. Dasher Life, what's up? What's up? Thrive is a clown. He's a victim. I don't know, Vartan. I don't know who you are, but I'm gonna have to start blocking a few other people here. You're gonna be one of the first ones. So I unblocked a lot, but the block button's gonna be back. Don't worry. Gangster decide. Yeah, that's the first Taquim. That's the first thing I thought when he said that. I literally, that's the first thing when he said that. That's exactly where my brain went, bro. Because I'm from Chicago, so if you know, you know. Call it gig content killer. Gig Worst Official says, change it before you grow. I changed mine. Yeah, I definitely think if you want to change it, Kevin, that's a good idea to do that now. So my sleep hours clock to come on Sunday. Yes, that is true. Should need to have a certain amount of sleep hours clock to come on Sunday. All right, so let's get into this. I'm going to share the link with you guys. I want to talk about what are some things that you think are issues in the gig economy, things that are important to you. And I would like for a few people to come up and give you guys a couple of minutes to talk about those things. And if there's something that some of us aren't thinking about, let's be forward thinking. What are some issues out of legislation? There's legislation, all this legislation. It's coming. I think it's definitely coming, but I don't think it's coming as fast as some people think. It's only in a handful of places right now. And these kind of things take time. I'm not concerned about it either way, but if something happens in St. Louis with legislation, how could that affect me? Would it be better? Would it be worse? I guess it depends on what that would be, right? The misclassification, reclassification of us as 1099s, if that changes, what are the pros and cons of that, right? So I think there's some long-term issues we might face. And there's obviously short-term everyday issues, whether it's saturation levels, wrongful deactivations, pay going up and down. Instacart lowered theirs on the base pay, crazy. Support, sometimes we reach out to support, it's crazy, right? So I think there's day-to-day things and there's long-term things. So let me start talking. Let me share this with you guys real quick. Appreciate everybody for being here. Hit the thumbs up if you haven't hit the thumbs up yet. And I'm going to pin this link for you guys. Uno momento. While I'm doing that, I will say this. I'm going to do another shameless plug, okay? The Pedro and Hannibal podcast is growing. We've had the channel now for, I think 14 months. And we're just maybe a couple of days away from monetization. We're about to hit 4,000 watch hours. We hit 1,000 subs. We talk about all kinds of stuff over there. Hip hop, sports. We talk about men, women relationships, fatherhood, hot topics. We talk about locales. If you don't know what a locale is, look it up. LOLCOW. Type that into Google search. You will be amazed. We talk about mental health. We talk about just weirdos. We just like to, we hold no punches. So if you like it, we don't talk gig content, right? So we definitely would love to see you guys come over and support our channel over there. So let me see here. Bing. Copy. All right. So let me go ahead and pin this for you guys here. All right. There's a link if you want to come up and join the show. Listen, Bud Soda, don't come up yet and give somebody else a chance. Oh, okay. Hold on. Ooh, I got to find it. Let me see if I can. Oh, yeah. Let me see. I can pin it here. Oh, I always hit that. And then, okay, pin message up at the top. It is pinned. There we go. Don't be shy. Come in. The water feels good. Okay. It's been surging like crazy in Austin last 2 days, says Jenny Gang. It's hard to know how to take what rides. So much analysis to do. Surging like crazy. I mean, just follow the money. If it, don't overthink it, right? Don't overthink it. Just hop in there, take those orders. I haven't done a ride share in a few months. I think there was a good promo. I think it was 5 rides, an extra $100, and I think that was probably 3 or 4 months ago. So that was the last time I did any kind of ride share. So, all right, let's see. Qualaya, what's up, Qualaya? Man, my phone is acting weird. What is going on? Oh, yeah, the Pedro and Hannibal podcast is a fun show. The chat is always awesome. It is. Qualaya, what's up, what's up? She's been rocking with us since day one. Big shout out to Qualaya. When I mentioned my friend that sent me a picture of the gas prices, that's who sent that to me just a couple of days ago, maybe yesterday, day before. And I was like, oh, my God, I think it was like $6. Let me just look it up. I won't show it to you. I'll read it to y'all. Let me look up. And if you're in Cali, you already know. Okay, so this is, okay. $6.69, $6.89, $7.09. Diesel $7.59. $6.69. That's so just double what I pay. So when you're a gig worker out there and you're looking at orders, I mean, you got to look at it a little bit differently, right? Maybe I don't know. That's crazy. I mean, if I woke up tomorrow and my gas prices were that high, I would be mad. $6.99 a gallon. I mean, $5.99 is what is in Colorado, I guess. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, this picture is $6.69. Crazy. Yo, Necro, what's up? All right, so I see, who do we got? Oh, I see all kinds of people waiting. All right, let me bring you guys up. Let me quit running my mouth here. Let's see. We have Bud Soda, Dash Your Life Hawaii, The Driven Dad. I see Cowboy Courier, Max Slim, and I see Lynn. Okay, so I want to give each of you guys 5 minutes, roughly. I'm going to start with Tony, The Driven Dad. And this is what we got. Issues. What issues are you facing? What are your concerns? And what do you think could be some impending issues coming forward? And how are we thinking about those things? That's kind of what I want to talk about. If you got something else, that's fine as well. But if you want to brush up on those, I'm going to give you guys each 5 minutes or so, one-on-one time with Mr.BetonYou. Let me bring up my man, Tony. Tony, what's up, brother?
Hey, how's it going?
I'm going good, man. How are you? How are you and the family?
You know, it's getting close to baby time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I bet.
uh,
You guys are pros, though. So
yeah, just got to stack the money now. It kind of
Yeah.
was inconvenient to get the C19 last week ago or so.
Yeah, I bet, man. Bad timing, right?
Yeah, it was like getting ahead, and then boom, it's like, all right, I got ahead so
Yeah.
I could get sick, I guess.
That sucks, man. So what do you got on your mind about these topics, man? What's on your mind tonight, Tony?
So I think that if you're trying to make the gig economy something that like you do full time, so this could also be applicable to part timers, but you, if you really want to make this something that is your lifestyle, I think that to put a hedge of protection around what you want to live your life like, you want to probably start building your own company and implementing your own customers, whether that's in the rideshare type of industry or catering order industry. Like, make your connections, make your company, get legitimate with being able to be independent and use the apps as fill-ins, because that's eventually how a lot of people's markets are pushing them anyways. Like, you either got to get a W-2 or you got to be a boss. So if the apps aren't treating you the way you want to be treated, then make your own app, so to say. Like, build your connections and build your business and make your money and fill in with the apps to build that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not, taking a little more control of your situation and your marketplace and your consumers, right? I was in Aldi the other day. I do a lot of shopping pays, and I'm in Aldi a lot, like sometimes 5, 6, 7 times a day. And I know there's that Dumpling app. I know you're aware of Dumpling. I'm not on Dumpling, but I know about it, right? And I'm walking around and I see there's many times within a week or 2 week span, I see the same person shopping, and they're not like an actual Instacart shopper. I know that they're like just a neighborhood person doing their grocery shopping, right? And while some consumers might be able to afford to pay somebody to do that for them, maybe most people can't, right? But I thought, like, man, if I had business cards and I don't have them yet in this fashion, where I could say, hey, I see you in here a lot. Like, I do shopping. Like, if you're ever interested, just hit me up, and I can work a deal out with you or whatever, right? But that's a way, you might hand out 100 of those in a month, and hey, maybe you get 4 or 5, right? And you build a little client pool for yourself, right? And maybe it's every Wednesday you're shopping for Sheila at Aldi, and it's it's worth your time, and it's off the app. It's your own business,
right? And if like Dumpling is something somebody would want to do, if they're like Instacart or Shipped or that kind of thing, you would be surprised if you would just do a little bit of rideshare to build that business, because people doing rideshare also order groceries on Instacart.
Absolutely. Or
Like,
if they're in rideshare, they might not have an automobile, so they have to do the Instacart, right? Because they can't go do their own shopping. So maybe you get a customer in more than one way.
Yeah. So those are just things, like, you don't have to make it like what you do. You just do that to build your list of people that you can fill up your calendar with private clients on, even doing shopping. So you don't want to set up like a transportation company. And you don't want to even really do rideshare, but it's a way to network and connect and service your community. And they're already using an app to do that. They could trade to you.
Interesting. We got the dumpling expert Holly, Savvy Shopper Deliverer. She goes, Pedro, it's not that easy. I think she was referencing when I was talking about handing cards. I'm sure it's not, but you got to start somewhere. And I know Holly does that dumpling very, very well. It seems like, and she is an expert on that. Go check out her channel if you want that dumpling content. So, Tony, you got anything else on your
business? For business mindset people who want to maybe build their like dumpling or any kind of private business doing service for other people, there's probably a lot of, maybe a couple of books out there with mindset of how to build referrals. Because that's probably where you're going to get the most new clients, is through somebody referring you, because you're using their credibility with the person that they're referring, because they trust you and they're a bridge to the other person trusting you. And then you service them and you build that trust with them. They give you referrals. It's not going to be like an overnight thing, but that's why I say start now. If you're struggling with the apps, just build something for yourself.
Yeah, I hear that. I appreciate you coming on, man. And I know you got a busy lot going on, and just is Lisa due in like a next couple of weeks, right?
She's due October 9th. My birthday's October 11th. We're trying to convince the child to wait till then.
So you could have a really awesome birthday, and then awesome birthdays for years to come.
And what's funny is that Ceci's due this week.
Okay.
And her nomadic dad, he has his birthday on Friday, and he's hoping that the baby comes
wild.
on his birthday.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
It's just kind of funny. Yeah, and Ceci's probably gonna shake her head at me for saying something.
Well, nomadic giggy mom, she supports a lot of people, and obviously she's expecting as well, and that's awesome. So I'll be thinking about you, man, and we'll be awaiting the exciting news as it comes, and have a good rest of the night, brother.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, thanks, man. Tony the Driven Dad. All right, I see everybody waiting. Let me stay in the chat here just for a minute, see what we got. What y'all talking about in here? 5 minutes. Yay, what up? Big Carl. What's up, Pedro? You got no love for me tonight? I'm posting positive comments left and right and no shout out. Big A's diecast. What's up? I think I put up one of your comments. What's up, man? How you doing? My birthday is October 11th too. That's what's up. So I want to say this. We're talking about upcoming things and awesome events. I will be in Cleveland, Ohio, November 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th with Moves Collective. The whole entire Moves team and Mr.BetonYou are going to Cleveland, Ohio for 4 days, meeting drivers, making content, making connections, doing some meet and greets. Moves is going to be hosting a happy hour on one of those days, probably Tuesday or Wednesday evening. So if you're in Cleveland, Ohio, more details to come, but you definitely want to email me. I've already received a couple of emails. We're going to be collaborating with some people. So that's going to be a really fun week. That's my birthday week actually as well. So I can't wait to go to Cleveland. I've been to Cleveland one other time on a bus tour and just stopped in there. We were there in Cleveland, like a bus, what do you call it? A bus stop, like a terminal or whatever. For about 2 hours, maybe, just like on a layover, switching buses. So very excited to go. So be on the lookout for that. But if you're in the Cleveland, Ohio area or somewhere close, you definitely want to email me. There'll be some other videos and community posts on how we can connect in Cleveland, events that we'll be having, how we're going to be meeting with drivers. It's going to be really, really, really cool, really, really exciting and fun. Bus station. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Hannibal and I share a birthday on 20. Yeah, I'm a world traveler. Y'all didn't know? I'm going to be in New York less than 2 weeks. Me and Hannibal are going to the Nas, Wu-Tang, and De La Soul concert on the 27th at the Barclays. And I can't wait. I haven't been in New York in 10 years. It was the last time I was in New York. And I'm excited. So it's going to be Hannibal's birthday week. We're going to have a great time. I hope I don't remember much, but we're going to have a good time. All right, so let me go ahead and bring in another guest. We got Bud Soda in. Bud Soda, let's bring him up. What's up, man? How you doing?
Oh, flat tire, lost my wallet, had a very bad day. Oh, Lordy.
Oh, that sucks, man. That sucks. It's part of the, flat tires. I had one of those a couple weeks ago, man. They suck, man. They suck.
I remember when you lost your wallet, you lost your mind on a live stream.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah.
I'm laughing about it now,
happens.
but the money making cards and my card to get on post are the most important things. And then my ID.
So let me ask you. So what are some of the issues you face as a gig driver, and what are some things that you think might be maybe impending things that we might be facing as a community in the next year or so?
So, as you know, I'm trying to get a new app running up and off the ground. We are live. I was literally texting, trying to get one of my drivers to get out there, take the door. I'm on a spare, and it's a very soft. I don't want to sit there and try to run around and do orders all night with that. So, he's gonna get to it as soon as he has these other orders dropped off. I encourage my drivers to multi-app. But I won't go on too long about that. But at the same time, find that new app, find that new avenue. Like you were saying, the personal clientele is so key. Like my personal client, I did $60 in one day, $80 this week. I made up that roughly it's like 86 with the tip. But I get $20 to go get their Renzi truck, which is like US Foods or Cisco or whatever food service you know about that. And then I'm trying to add a new one, and then I'm also seeking that restaurant as a local partner for my app. I say my app. I'm an advocate. I'm a driver partner. I'm still considered independent contractor, but at the same time, like this new app, $4 for 4 miles, the minimum base pay, and it's
hold on, Bud Soda, stop. Slow down. Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic. I don't want you plugging. We can talk about your app, but I want the topic. Topic is.
But the topic
what are the issues? Okay, let's stay on topic. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm saying that as a reason to find other avenues because the value is so good versus I was about to put a sentence versus DoorDash or Uber, $2 and $1.50. Come on, and that there's more things we can do out here. We can try to be the personal clientele, or even through the app, like Instacart, you become their favorite shopper. I got one 2 days ago. She favorited me. It's my second time waiting on her without me even like kind of prompting at all. Like usually if I have a really positive experience, I'll be like, hey, there's now a favorite shopper option. You can always throw that in the chat. And it's not just about the ones who are 2-3 days ahead of time. If you're close enough within a reasonable distance to the store, even if you're not at the store, you will see that order first. Same for the power of 5 stars. That will help you guys a lot. And work these programs. You might hate Platinum, Diamond, whatever the program is on whatever app. But you have to figure out how to make that work for you and how to make it profitable. My acceptance rate is 87% right now, naturally, no glitch.
What's the issue? Are you saying that we should try to get our own app in a similar way, or make our own way in a similar way? What Tony was saying, because what's the underlying issue? What's your issue? Why do you want to do this?
To bet on yourself, like you say here. I literally said it in a comment with one of my friends.
There it is, up there. Yeah,
right there. Yeah,
it's above you.
So it sounds corny, but it's so true. People don't think that way. You need to have a business mindset and be expanding beyond, oh my God, they keep throwing $2 and $3 offers at me. What could you do at 2 in the afternoon that could make you more productive? And as far as the apps go, I can't preach shop. Learn how to shop. But
man, well, listen, I know it's funny.
Because that could lead to the personal clientele. That's how I got them.
Yeah, the shopping pays is what is. I know a lot of you guys don't like to shop. You think it takes too long, or the items aren't in stock. Did you know on DoorDash that if you go to Walgreens and you're supposed to find 5 items and you find 2, you make the same money. You literally, the offer doesn't go down. So if it's $10 and you only got 2 items and you contacted the customer, they weren't responsive, they didn't have, you still get paid $10. So I'm telling you, I know some of y'all don't like to shop, but DoorDash is prioritizing that for the consumer, and they're also prioritizing Dashers. I've been having a good few weeks, man. I'm telling you, it's been very helpful for me. So.
Now there's no master key to add whatever you want. Some items aren't in the system, less so than Instacart. There's no way to add an item manually on DoorDash, but even when it says done and it's quote unquote refunded, click back on that. You can just hit add substitution, and maybe the item's in the system, but it's not suggesting it, or the customer selected refund, but they want some Excedrin. The 50 count bottle's gone, only got 200. The customer still wants it. Like, if I got a headache and I want to go on fast, I want my Excedrin, damn it. So, you can do that to get your Dash now, which is more keys to making money. So, not just about DoorDash, though. Expand your other avenues. Like, everyone still sleeps on ParaWorks, and I'm telling you, look at the opportunity it's given me. Look at what typically might give other drivers. I know Nova Hustles, he got roots from it. You can find other work through these avenues. It's just because those 2 orders are half an hour away. Well, we're all multi-appers. How hard is it to turn on your apps over there?
Yeah. Appreciate you, man. I got about 5 people waiting. I want to give them a chance to come on.
All right.
Hey, hope you can get some good rest tonight. Drink some water. Put the Red Bull and Mountain Dew and the other stuff away. Drink some lemon water. Get some rest. I want to see you sharp and ready for tomorrow, brother. What do you got?
That's the beast, the alcoholic.
Oh Lord, here we go. Hey, it's good. I'm glad to see you relaxing. It's a good thing. I'm very happy to see you not in your car right now. It's actually a positive, brother.
Yeah, I worked 118 hours this week despite that. So advocating for a new app is a lot of work. Be prepared to put in some time. I'm not saying do as much as I do, but prepare to put in some time if you want to make your money, guys. Take care.
Yeah, that's a good point. I see you, man. Have a good night. All right, I see Dasher Life is still waiting. Max Slim, Lynn Lucas, Dashing Across America is waiting as well. Love that. And Cowboy Courier. So let's bring in Dasher Life Hawaii. Ronald, what's up, Boots? How you doing, man?
What's going on, Paige? Are you all right?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
So what do you got on your mind tonight, man? What do you think, are there any issues that you face with these apps? Do you think anything's coming up? Like, what do you got on your mind about the topic tonight?
Well, I mean, issue, I don't know if it's an issue, but like I put in the chat earlier, this week I've had 6 no-tip catering orders, right? I've took them. And out of 6, only 1 didn't leave me money. And they weren't diamond and they weren't plus size.
Interesting.
So I did it live. I was on Gig Wars Official, of course, doing it live. And the first one was a $4.50, 3.8 miles from Chick-fil-A.
Did it say catering bag required?
That's the only reason, and if they're in the chat, they can contest it. That's the only reason I took it. I mean, it was other reasons, but that's the main reason. See, the catering.
Explain it to me. What is because I'm not part of that program. So explain to me why take a $4 for 3.9? Because it's not going to go up if there's no plus. Did you think you were going to get a cash tip, or what was the reasoning behind it?
It was 3.8 miles. For 450. But the reason behind it, one, like I say, was the catering. I seen the catering, and I'm like, it's Chick-fil-A. I checked to see if it was all food and not the condiments and the drinks. And then I looked at the location. I knew where it was going, and I was like, you know what? It was red and crate and Nomadic was there when I took it. No, red crate and Giggin was there, and then Kevin actually was on too. Kevin actually was on. Okay. And I said, you know what? I'm taking it. And Rig was like, you're going to take it. I said, yeah, I'm taking it. And she was like, it's not going up. It's not going up. And I'm like, in my back of my mind, I'm like, you fucking idiot. right? But then I'm like, you know,
like
what?
to yourself, you mean? To yourself?
Yeah. Like, I said, why would you do this online? You know, so why would you do it live?
I wouldn't take that. I would not.
Right.
I would not.
And everyone except Nomadic said I shouldn't have took it. Right. So I took it, and then I got a $10 cash tip.
Oh,
because
okay.
when I got there, the young lady said they like to give cash. I took another one today. It was 33. It was $35.99. No, 30. What was it? 35. It was $35.99. So I'm like, anyway, it was high, but it had 22.6 miles. Once again, no diamond, no plus.
Yeah.
Red said it ain't going up.
No, it's not.
It ain't going up. It ain't going up. But guess what? It turned out to be 44.15.
Did they add more of a tip afterwards, or
they added when I got done with it, it had a tip on it.
Yeah, okay, got it.
Then I took a $10.75 order. It didn't have a tip. It didn't have a plus, but it said all of them said catering though. Every last one of them. So I don't know what DoorDash is doing with that, but that's what I've been running into this week. This week. So
well, do you think I know that DoorDash has their partnership agreements with merchants to where if that catering order is done on the website of the actual restaurant, that restaurant can decipher, they can pull that tip and give you some of it, all of it, none of it. So I think sometimes when we see these big caterers, like let's say it's like $500 worth of food and it's paying $8 and it's all base pay and there's no tip, there could have been a tip on there, but that restaurant might have given it to the staff. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I know Papa John's, Hungry Howie's, Pizza Hut, those pizza places. I know that for a fact that they do that.
They have the ability to. Yeah.
They have the ability to, especially if they don't order through DoorDash, if they order directly through the app. Well, sometimes they'll take the order and they'll give you half the tip and give it to their driver who wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So I do know that. So you have to pay attention to some of those things. Like if Kevin and Buzz Sutter was saying, you have to know who you're dealing with. So if you pretty much you don't want to evolve and you pretty much got a nasty attitude, some of the establishments and the merchants won't even talk to you. Just like I was in Papa John's the other day, and like when you did the Ice DoorDash hiding tips, I was there waiting on another order, and the manager was like, "You want this?" And I said, "I can't take it unless they send it to me." So I was waiting on the other one. I stood around and I got the order, but he had already told me it's got a $14 tip on it. It came in my phone at $6.75 plus, but he said it has a $14 tip. So at the end of the, I'm like, I want to see what it said, and it said $14.96. That was the tip on it. So he wasn't lying on it, but they do have the ability to control it. And he was like, I'm not gonna really get mad 'cause I don't have a driver. So if they don't have a driver and they know you, they really not going to mess with the money. They're going to give you the whole thing. But sometimes when we go in there with attitudes, cussing them out, upset, and there's something out there to control, they will make you pay.
And I think we're talking about issues and things. I think sometimes drivers, we are the issue. You know what I'm saying? How we are the issue sometimes, and we don't realize it. The things that we're doing and how we're moving and how we're treating customers or how we're treating the merchants, and we're making issues for ourselves at times, don't you think?
Oh, we do with it, with the entitlement attitude. I've seen drivers just walk in and shove the phone in someone's face. Don't say hi, don't say hi, don't say and then like 2-3 other drivers standing there, they just push their way in. You look like okay. So we are, in most cases, sometimes we are our own problem. And then the first thing we'll say is the app is trash. I can't make no money. All the excuses in the world instead of stepping back, taking a look at ourselves. I'm not telling, like I said in the beginning, I'm not telling nobody to take chances. I take chances. I do. And sometimes chances make champions. Out of 6 times, I only failed 1. I ain't gonna even say fail, because I did take the chance, but I still made $10. So I'm looking at it as out of 6, I'm gonna take that chance as long as it's got what I call my intangibles. I do my checks, I do my miles per money. I make sure if it says catering, I make sure all that. But if it don't say what I fall in my parameters, I'm not taking the order. But if it got, if it's
listen,
got the
I ain't
slightest thing,
taking
I'm gonna take it.
I ain't taking that 450
I
for
know,
3.8.
I know. Trust me, I didn't. I was gonna. I didn't clip it. I didn't clip the. I didn't clip it, and I didn't screenshot because I was gonna do a short on it. And I guarantee, everybody would have said no. Everybody.
Yeah.
The only one that stood with me.
Yeah.
The only one that stood with me was Nomadic. So
yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. That's crazy,
so.
man. Hey, give me. Can you give us? Are you driving right now, or did you pull out yet?
Well, I mean, I ain't moving, but you know, go ahead.
Can you give us a view of the when you were walking? I saw them like palm trees or whatever, man. Can you give us a
I'm
view
about to
of
turn
what you
around.
see?
I can give you a view, but you know, this is a hotel they building. You want to see concrete? I mean,
No, I don't want to see that. No, I don't want to see
but
that.
I'm about to hit the main strip. If you want to, you know, because I got to go to the Hilton. When I drive down the main strip, if you want to see it, I could
give us. Give us that view. I want the people to see it, man.
I mean, let me see.
Okay, all right. I just want to see the Hawaii sky. You know what I mean? Oh, I think he hit a button. Oh, we lost him. Boots. All right, Boots. Hey, listen. Thanks for coming on. Drive safe. Make your money. Appreciate you coming on. Hope you're listening to this, but I think he accidentally booted himself out. Boots booted himself out. All right. Let me bring in Dashing Across America, and then we're gonna bring in Lynn after that. And I see Cowboy Courier. So let me bring in my man's right here. Hey, what's up, brother?
Hey, Pedro, how you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Good to see you. How you been?
I've been great.
I'm glad.
Living the dream.
Glad. I see you got that big smile on your face, so that's a good thing, you know. So, what do you think about the topic tonight, man? What issues do you face? Do you think there's anything that drivers in this community might be facing, let's say next year? Is that something that you even think about? What do you say?
Pedro, I have some minor issues with some of the apps, especially DoorDash.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think too deeply about these things. I like to keep it shallow, just have some fun, make a little money. But correct me if I'm wrong, but you live very close to a state line, right?
Very close, yes. I could be in Illinois. If I left my house, I can be in Illinois in 15 minutes.
Okay, well, I'm in Georgia. I could be in Florida in 5 minutes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm 3 miles from the nearest Georgia zone, and I'm 5 miles from the nearest Florida zone. Why can't I see the zones in Florida?
Oh, you can't see them?
No, they don't. I can, if I'm in Georgia, I can see Georgia zones that are 100 miles away from me. But I can't see Florida zones that are 5 miles away from me or 20 miles away from me. So
before you hit Dash now, you can't like scroll and see what's going on in that area?
No, if I just pull up the map and I'm
Oh, I think we lost you. Can you hear me? I think he's frozen in time. DoorDash is blocking him from talking about what he can't see on the app. Hold on. Dashing across America. I think you're frozen. Hold on, let me see. If you can hear me, exit and try to come back in because you are frozen in time. All right, so
there you are. Sorry,
there you are. We're good. No, we're good. Okay. So go ahead. You were telling us you can't see the area, and then you were talking about trying to look at the area.
If I'm sitting in Georgia, I can see all the Georgia zones, but no Florida zones. If I drive 5 miles south into Florida, I can see all the Florida zones, but no Georgia zones. Is it not that way for you in Missouri and Illinois?
No, you know what? Let me look at this right now because I want to do this in real time with you guys because I can see Illinois zones, and I've actually on a video I did dash along the way from a Missouri Webster Grove zone to an Illinois zone that had $5 peak pay, and it sent me an offer from my house driving me towards downtown, which is right where the state line is. I never wound up making it to that zone, but so if I depress it out, I can see. So you guys see that? That's my zone, right? Do you see that? So that's St. Louis, Webster Groves. Now, if I go this way, I can see there's Belleville. So that is Illinois right there. And I could even see, if I can scroll this way, I can actually go out even more. I can see there's a $3 peak pay in Nashville.
Okay, so this issue, I guess, is unique to me.
It might
I don't know.
It might be your market, yeah.
That's weird.
Or maybe it's the app maybe it's the version of the app that you have. Maybe it's that. I don't know, because I've always been able to see the next state over. In my app, and if there's a peak pay there, or if it's red, or if it's gray, I can see all that information. Weird. What do you would you like to, since you're 5 minutes away, if you would see that it was really busy in Florida, would you and would you go to that area? Is that why you say that?
Exactly. In other words, when I wake up in the morning, I could dash in Georgia. I could dash in Florida. There are 7 or 8 cities around. Some in Georgia. Any of them. Maybe that's not,
Yeah.
But I guess everybody who lives near a state line doesn't have that problem. I don't know. That's weird.
Yeah, it's interesting. What can you share with us? Is there a new city or town you're going to be at in the next month or so that you've been thinking about going to? Oh, I think we lost you. I think he's frozen in time. Hold on.
Oh, sorry. Hey, Pedro.
Yeah.
I should probably get off my internet. I live in the middle of the woods, and my internet.
You're okay.
My internet is.
Sometimes I wish I lived in the middle of the woods and had internet connection issues too. Trust me, okay. We're good.
My internet is Starlink. Elon Musk. And every now and then the satellite passes behind a tree in my yard and I lose connection. So this is probably very irritating to your viewers. But
it's fine, man.
I can get in one more quick little pet peeve I have with DoorDash, and maybe one Uber pet peeve. DoorDash, when I look at my ratings, I see my AR and my customer rating and all that, and at the very bottom I see my lifetime deliveries. Well, who cares? What Dashers need to see is how many deliveries have I made this month? And that's not very easy.
We lost you, but I hear what you're saying. You're talking about we should be able to see that month.
Yes. Why not?
Well, I do know that you could that information's there, but you got to hit 4 or 5 or 6 buttons to get to it, and you got to get the calculator out and do the math, and you know what I'm saying? But that would be nice. They could just add it. They could just add it under the lifetime and just say, okay, you're at 70 this month. So then now I got to get another 30 to be eligible for this or that, or yeah.
And I figure maybe you have DoorDash's ear, with as many subscribers as you have.
Listen, I got no relationship with them. They don't talk to me. I would talk to them, but they don't. I don't think they like me. It's fine.
Hey, and as far as Uber goes, I'm a part-time gig guy. I'm retired, but my very first Uber rideshare passenger. Uber doesn't tell you where you're going when you accept a rideshare.
Yeah, no. In some markets, they don't. It's crazy.
The very first guy I ever picked up, I decided, okay, this is the day I'm gonna try my first Uber rideshare. And I accepted an offer, picked the guy up. I said, "Where are you going?" He said, 100 miles away from here.
Oh, wow.
I drove him 100 miles.
And so it didn't tell you the pay either, did it?
I can't remember. Maybe it did. But it was my very first one, and so I didn't know what I was doing. But the guy got in the back seat, and I said, "Where are we going?" And he said, he named the city, and it was 100 miles away from me.
That's crazy. And, I've done some rideshare, and I used to not be able to see it, and then they changed some things in my market, and then now you could, with like the upfront information, and but yeah, I remember those days. It's not fun because it's like, okay, is this person going is this ride going to be down the street for $5, or am I going 100 miles and yeah, it might pay me good, but now I got to drive back. And then now I'm committed to several hours, maybe. Like, it's crazy with the rideshare, man. It's crazy.
Hey, you want to hear the crazy story? The crazy story about the first guy I ever picked up that needed to go 100 miles?
Yeah.
He was a truck driver, owned his own truck. He was driving down I-95, headed to Florida and at night. And the next thing he remembers is a policeman was rapping on the door of his semi. And he doesn't know what happened. He was stopped in the middle of I-95 in the middle of the night. And I said, Stephen, did you have a wreck? He said, nope. I said, nobody crashed into the back of your truck? And he said, nope. He was just asleep in the middle of I-95.
It's crazy.
He thinks he may have had a seizure. And they arrested him. And when I went to go pick the guy up, another guy came out to my car and said, oh, he's in the store. He'll be right out. I just got him out of jail.
Oh, wow. That's crazy. See, like, for those of you that haven't done rideshare, you'll run into some crazy situations, crazy stories. It's a completely different ballgame than food delivery. So, hey, I appreciate you coming on and sharing that information with us. I'm going to get to the next caller here, and we'll connect soon, my friend.
Have a good night, Pedro.
All right,
good to see you. All right,
you always. All right, we need to take this small break. I hear something going on upstairs. Don't leave yet. We'll be right back. We are back. All right. So my apologies. The live will have to end. We have some things that need to be dealt with upstairs. Everything's fine. Nothing's wrong. Don't worry. But for everybody who's waiting in the background, can't bring you up. I got to pay attention to something that's happening upstairs. Everything's okay. But daddy duties always go first. Listen, I would like to say this. I appreciate everybody for coming up to tonight's show. I just want to say again in closing, okay? As content creators, I think we have to remind ourselves of a couple things, and viewers as well. Why do we watch what we watch? And what we're watching, is it providing us with value? Or, excuse me, is it just plain entertainment? Not one's better than the other, but as a gig community of drivers out here, we have to remind ourselves, hey, stay informed, watch things that are going to be valuable so you understand what's happening, what's going on. And as content creators, let's not feed into the ignorance of the trolls or the misinformed or the people that just want attention. Because if you stop giving them attention, they will go away, and we can then begin to grind and focus on the things that really matter. I hate that I had to cut this live short. Everything's cool, but you got to do what you got to do sometimes. You guys are amazing. I'll see you guys in the next live.